Keir, how do you like Richie, huh?
Oh,
Huh?
you know, how can I come after this man? He's,
Well, you're not going to perform here now, huh?
no, you know, I'm very moved. You know,
Yeah.
about a year ago, I was doing a film in the northern
Hey, wait a minute,
wilds.
let me introduce you first, all right?
Yeah,
Because I
sure.
want to tell everybody, and those who aren't old enough to have seen you, that's one of the
Oh,
things,
come
you know.
on.
Come on. Here's a young actor who, he usually plays the neurotic, psychotic, cathartic parts. He was in David and Lisa, and I'm sure that's going to be an all-time great. Bunny Lake is missing. His name is Keir Dullea. Let's all have a nice day. Okay? Keir, you've been around a while since David and Lisa, right? I mean, yeah.
Well, listen, I actually started playing so-called psychotic roles before that with a picture called The Hoodlum Priest. So
Oh,
really,
that's
I've been
right.
a victim. I say victim with quotes around. It's been fun, but a victim of the so-called typecasting system for a long time. Can I just say something though?
Sure,
You know, actors always
Say anything here.
get up here and they talk about their career, they talk about the pictures they're doing, but you know, I'm very moved to be here today because this is a different kind of interview show. Just the way it's very intimate and everyone's very close and the people are very young, and this excites me and this music excites me. You know, I was about to tell you a year ago I was up in the northern wilds of Canada. It was very cold, and one night I was feeling a little down and depressed and cold mainly, and we went to a coffee shop in Toronto. And I saw this man get up and sing. It was Richie Havens. I'd never heard of him. And I walked out of that place and I felt very warm all over because, you know, he's saying things that need to be said today. And it's beautiful. I was at a press conference about regarding a film I was doing, and it was the foreign press, and a gentleman asked me, why do you think that music has gone so much further in being daring and taking chances and saying things and trying out new things than films, although films have also done the same thing, but not as fast.
Right.
And it's
No
a very
question.
simple answer. It's because the leaders in film are younger. It's that simple. It's a different generation.
You mean the leaders in music? Or the
Leaders
film?
in popular music,
Right.
in the music that the young people want to hear
Right.
today. They're younger. And when we think about a Stanley Kubrick who's considered, you know, they always talked about him being young. Well, you know, he's 38 or 9. He is young for a filmmaker. But the kids that are making it today in music are 20, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21. And I think that's the reason. I think it's very beautiful. I think it's very exciting.
We got to go for commercials. We'll be back in a minute with some more with Keir Dullea. Listen, Keir, how do you like that?
Make a good
What-
stage name.
Listen, Keir. They've been telling me I can't say things like, you know, I'm learning all about this thing. I mean, a nightclub owner, all of a sudden I gotta have new phrases. I can't say the things I normally say in the club sometimes, you know, so they give me a whole, don't laugh at that.
There's
I'm
always a
serious.
game to play.
Yeah, but we're gonna,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
you gotta play the game on television a little bit.
Always,
you know?
in life.
Yeah. In life too?
Life
As an
definitely.
actor, right?
I think as a person.
As a person.
Yeah.
How did you break the mold of the type of typecasting you had, which to get off the subject, right? For the 2 movies you've just done, huh? Because I'd like to talk about that.
Well, I appeared in Playboy. No, actually,
The centerfold thing in
I
Playboy?
did appear in Playboy.
Yeah?
As a matter of fact, not the centerfold, not yet.
Yeah.
I haven't quite broken the mold enough for them to put me there, but at least I did a picture of Sandy Dennis called The Fox, based on a D.H. Lawrence short story. That's the one I was doing up in Canada.
Yes.
And I had an experience the other day. I was at a party, and somebody was asking me about The Fox, and somebody overheard us. This young lady looked around, and she said, gee, I just saw a special screening of that a couple of days ago. I said, oh, really? She said, yeah. She said, did you see it? And I said, yes. And she said, it's very good. What did you have something to do with it? I said, yeah. There are only 3 human beings in the picture,
I know.
2 women and 1 guy.
Made you feel
And I
great.
said, yeah. No, it was exactly the reaction I hoped for, because she said, I said, yeah, I was in it. She said, you were the boy? And I said, yeah. And that is exactly how different the role is from the way people see me, because it's a very kind of animalistic, kind of sexual, unintellectual kind of role. It's about a guy who comes in between 2 women, one of whom has lesbian tendencies, and he's just a young guy who's a seaman. He comes in, he sees one of the girls, and zappo, he wants her, you know, and
I hope he doesn't lose
he
it to
becomes
other
the
girl.
catalyst.
Does he lose it? You know, that's terrible. You don't mind losing your girlfriend to another guy. But God forbid you should lose your girlfriend to another girl. Wow. Huh? that really hurts, you know, that kind of thing.
It's the first picture that I've been, I must say, truly proud of.
Really?
Since David and Lisa. I've done about 5 pictures since David and Lisa. And there's always something you can find that you like, you know, maybe your own performance or something, but this is the first picture. It's an honorable picture. It's a rather unusual picture. I won't go into it, but
It's tough for an actor always to be proud of everything because you do your job, and then from then on you don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
I've been very lucky.
Cut, edited, anything could happen to it between.
If you can be proud, like I would say, I'm proud of 3 films that I've done out of about 9, and that's a third. That's a pretty good average.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What's the other film with Kubrick? Who's
Stanley Kubrick. I also play a very different kind of role. I play an astronaut. And this film was started in 1964. He's been editing it for 2 years.
I've heard about
actually,
that,
the 2001 really refers to the release date.
That's going to come out.
But I'll be interesting seeing myself 20 years younger, you know, going through time.
Oh, come on, it's
That's
coming
a
out
bad
soon.
joke.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's going to come out soon, though.
It's going to come out in March.
How did he get the cooperation? I heard that NASA helped him, that he got people from
NASA
the
gave-
government, and they got...
It's incredible.
How did he get all those people to get involved with this movie?
He's a rather electric man. I think he's one of the true geniuses of our time. He is this picture will be what Citizen Kane was in its era. I truly believe this. And he got NASA to give 2 of their top scientists 2-year leaves of absence. He got 40 corporations to send specialists, and each specialist in that particular area, whether it be heavy industry like Vickers Armstrong or Honeywell Corporation, they even had Howard Johnson Restaurants and American Express, they computerized the most likely development of their particular specialty.
To figure what would be in the future.
Yeah, and each of the sets took from 6 months to a year to build. For example, one of the sets we had was a 41-foot tall, 40-ton centrifuge that was not built by set makers. It was made by Vickers Armstrongs, people that make airplanes. They went in there, they broke out the sides of the walls of the largest sound stage in England for the driving mechanism. This thing's 40 feet tall, and it revolves and creates artificial gravity. So you can walk a 360-degree circle upside down, around, and come right down again. It's fantastic.
I'd be anxious to see that.
So it's a film that kind of deals with the real, not corny, bug-eyed monster, old-fashioned science fiction view of what it would mean, but the real effect of the knowledge that extraterrestrial or people from another planet or outside our universe were to have visited us. What it would, and that doesn't mean you ever see them, but what it would do both theologically and sociologically, how it would really affect people. It's like living with the bomb. You know, we take the bomb so for granted. You know, we know it's there, but we don't live in terror of it because it's so imminent. If we go nuts if you believed it. But once, during the Cuban crisis, people went mad. They went and stocked up with food, and they dug air raid shelters. Well, the real knowledge, tomorrow, if it was announced that extraterrestrials were on the way, really on the way, what would it really do? It would really panic people. You know?
What I'd like to do now is introduce, I think they're the first co-ed group we've had on our show, a co-ed group. They're from the West Coast. It's certainly a great change. Here they are, the Sunshine Company.